When I moved to Austin, I was single. It was like, this is the place to go to meet people. Rather than going to a bar and drinking your face off, the energy and the atmosphere here was very much like, go to a coffee shop with your laptop and someone's going to come up and buy you a cup of coffee. And that's how you started conversations.
I love that.
Coming into a crowded market, but still being able to carve your own niche. What is that going to be like for you? Like, how are you going to approach it differently here in Austin, knowing that versus what you did in Seattle?
There's a lot of concepts in Seattle that they're not doing here quite yet. So like the drive-thru stands, there's nowhere like that here.
What is going on, Savages? And welcome back to another episode on the Business Savage podcast. I am 7 weeks postpartum. I am back in the studio and it feels so good to be back. And today I'm excited to start things off with a very special guest. Ellie has been part of my ecosystem for, oh my goodness, 3 or 4 years, something
now.
Like that. This is my first time meeting her. So that was a really juicy hug. But I'm super excited to bring this conversation to you today. Ellie is the owner of coffee shops, as well as a business coach and a speaker and a content creator and all of the things that we're going to get into. And she is just a powerhouse. I'm super inspired by the content that you've been putting out there and your story. And so I'm really excited to bring this one to life today. Ellie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Let's do a formal introduction. I'm going to read this for everyone that wants to know all of the credentials and all of the, okay, she's a badass. So let's read this for everybody. Hugdahl? Hugdahl.
Yep.
Great. Ellie Hugdahl is the founder and CEO of Unity Coffee. I told her she should bring her little coffee cups with us today, but we forgot those ones. A growing drive-thru coffee company, probably one of the reasons why we bonded, because we both just love coffee. In the Pacific Northwest. She's known for her barista to CEO journey. Ellie purchased and scaled her first stands using creative seller financing deals, which I'm super excited to talk about that, turning scrappy beginnings into a thriving multi-location brand. With over a decade in the coffee industry, she's built Unity Coffee into more than a coffee shop. It is a community hub rooted in connection, culture, and great coffee. Beyond leading Unity, Ellie is a creator of the 3S playbook: strategy, systems, and soul, a framework that helps other coffee shop owners and product-based founders grow without burnout. Amen. Throughout her digital products, workshops, and her soon-to-launch membership community, she's teaching entrepreneurs how to streamline operations, tell their story, and build brands that scale with heart. Ellie's work has been featured across social media, where she's built a community of 17,000 plus entrepreneurs, founders, and coffee lovers who follow her transparent take on business, leadership, and lifestyle design. Her mission is simple: to help founders create freedom-based businesses while keeping community at the core. Ellie, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's start things off. Why coffee? Why coffee? Why did you go the direction of coffee shops?
Okay, so I started working in coffee when I was about 15 years old. So I was super young, and I remember just falling in love with the way that coffee brings people together.
Okay.
So it's always more than just like, here's a cup of coffee, but you have the opportunity to put a smile on somebody's face. And
First job was at a Dunkin' Donut type thing up in Canada, like coffee time. I was like 13 years old. So
Okay.
I just like the smell of it.
You get it. Yeah, you get it. But I was like, I have this opportunity to make somebody's day in 2 minutes or less.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with the community of coffee. And ever since then, since I was 15, I knew that I wanted to start a coffee company.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's fast forward. I know that you just told me that you went to school here in Texas, which I didn't know. Okay. So what did you come to school for?
I went to school for business management.
Okay.
Yep.
So you had an upper edge when it came to all of that. When you went to school for business management, did you have any idea that you were going to be the owner of a coffee franchise?
No, I didn't. And also, you really don't learn a lot about actually being an owner going to business
Amen.
school.
You don't.
You learn how to work for somebody, and you learn the number side, but not the mindset or the stuff that really matters.
Okay. So walk me through the thought process when you first started the first location of Unity.
So I was actually working as an insurance rep when I knew that I wanted to start my coffee company. I just felt like I was ready. And my fiance at the time, he pushed me to do it. And he's told me to reach out to every single owner that I knew and ask them if they knew anybody that was selling.
Okay.
And so one person reached back out, and it was actually my first job.
How old were you?
I was 22.
Okay. Okay.
I was 22, and the one person that responded was my first job when I was 15.
Great.
And she was selling.
Okay.
I was like, well, the stars aligned. This is the universe telling me it's my time to jump.
Yeah.
And so that was the one I ended up buying, and I bought it with seller financing.
Okay. So let's talk about this. Was it called Unity, or did you change the name?
It was called Unity.
Oh, and you liked it.
And I loved that name.
Yeah.
And I loved what she stood for, and just the meaning behind Unity. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
love
need
it.
to change that.
So it's a drive-through, but it's also like, is it a truck?
It's a drive-through stand. So they're really popular in Seattle and in the Pacific Northwest. They're on every single corner.
Okay.
But they're drive-through, so we have 2 cars on each side, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great. What's your favorite coffee?
Iced espresso.
Okay. What's the most popular coffee?
White chocolate mocha.
Okay. You're like no hesitation.
Oh, no,
She's,
I know
all of this.
I know.
And is pumpkin spice really like blowing up right now?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And eggnog already, too.
All of your basic bitches want
All of them. They're already here.
Okay. So walk me through this, how you came to get the coffee shop. I know that you like very strategically went about how you did this, and it's something that you're known for, and something that I think a lot of the listeners listening today are like, I want to start a business, but I have $0 to my name, and everything is going towards school debt, and it's like, how do I get ahead, and how do I even, get my foot in the door to do that? So I would love for you to walk us through that process.
Oh, absolutely.
This episode is sponsored by Glossy, my favorite hack to add in my water. Let's be real. Beauty and wellness can be overwhelming. We're all trying to do a million things, skincare routines, all of the supplements, hydration. But what if it could be simplified? This is where Glossy comes in. It's a drinkable beauty supplement packed with probiotics, hyaluronic acid, and magnesium to support your gut health, hydration, and skin glow in one effortless sip. I add it to my water every morning and sip it throughout the day. It tastes amazing. It's got like this lemony flavor to it. Super refreshing, and it's not too sweet. I even replaced some of my old supplements with Glossy because it does so much in just one step. I started noticing results in month 2, and I love that my subscription keeps me consistent and stocked up. Go to getglossy.com and use my code SAVAGE for 15% off. Also, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition, but you need to try this game changer. I've now got many of my friends and clients hooked, so give it a try and thank me later.
And I'm going to be really honest, I didn't have a big chunk of change to actually go out and buy the business. So even when I was reaching out to these owners, I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. And so I went the route with seller financing because it's basically you don't have to put a lot of money down. The seller acts as the bank.
Okay.
And so you're able to purchase a large business and just pay the seller instead of a bank.
Okay.
Yes.
And so that's just a matter of finding a buyer or a seller who's interested in doing something like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they're just ready to get rid of their business.
Okay. So walk us through a little bit more behind the scenes of what that kind of looks like.
Yeah. So you reach out to sellers and you find their motivation for selling.
Okay.
So is it they just want to get out of this business? Is it they need a little bit of extra cash flow because they're like down low in their business?
Right.
A lot of people can't sell their businesses.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't have $100,000, $200,000 laying around to just buy one.
Right.
And so seller financing comes in and it's becoming more and more popular.
Okay.
But it's just a really great option to do with creative financing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then in terms of negotiating price and all that sort of stuff, like how did that process go?
Really easy. You just sit down and you ask like a good monthly payment that would work for them and you find out something that works for both of you.
Okay. So let's talk. You're 22 years old. You did the seller financing. You got into the coffee shop and then you got the keys to it.
Yeah.
And then what next?
I was really scared and I didn't know what to do. Now I actually have to find my health permits and manage employees and all this stuff that I had no idea what to do.
So were you taking over her staff?
I actually did not take over her staff.
Okay.
So I had to hire a whole new team.
Okay.
And that was a process.
Yeah.
And I've worked in the industry for a while, but leading a team is a little bit different.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because leading yourself is one thing, which I do want to talk about, because that's the whole mindset journey of becoming a CEO, is leading yourself, which we talk so much about. But then there's also leading a team. And so how did you find your staff and how did you step into that leadership role to make sure that they were creating the vision for Unity the way that you wanted it to be?
Yeah. I have hired a lot of good and bad employees, and I feel like that really comes from where I'm at.
Right.
As a person.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing really good, I
attract what you are.
really good employees.
Yeah.
And that's if I hire bad and stuff, it's probably because I'm not doing or taking care of myself. And so I've really learned that it's all about taking accountability for where you're at and where your mind is at, and you'll attract the right people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you find them?
A lot of referrals.
Okay.
Referrals, or I have a couple girls that I actually went to high school with, and they wanted to work for me. Yeah.
Okay. And were you working at yourself a lot to start?
Yeah. I was working open to close for probably the first year.
And at what point were you able to kind of scale back from that?
About last year, I pretty much fully removed myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now you have just how many staff do you have?
I have 8 employees and then a full-time manager.
Okay. What was the process like for you with the manager? Because I want to talk about this for a second. There is a CEO or an entrepreneur, when we want to scale our businesses, we know that we can't do everything.
Yeah.
And so it requires us to trust somebody else and train them properly so that we can, I'm going to say, let go of control, which is a very, very, very big one for so many CEOs and entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I want to scale, but I can't let go of control. So what was that process like for you? Like, you know, you obviously had this whole brand new baby business that you wanted to make sure was ran a certain way. And it's like every little thing in the business you had to be able to trust to somebody else. So walk me through that process.
I think it was really helpful that I have like such an amazing manager, and she stepped into that position so well, but it was also just slowly letting go of control and knowing that if I want this company to scale and if I really want to help more people, then I have to let go of control. And that was really hard because this business is my baby and this is my passion. This isn't like I'm trying to make $1 million. Like this is my baby. And so releasing that control was really hard, but now I've been able to like watch that flourish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this, because somebody buys a business like this and at first you're working all of the hours and then you're like, okay, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to scale back a little bit. You probably were working some hours and you had some stuff a little bit. But at some point now, do you work at all? Do you work any?
1 day a week.
And
because I like
just
to.
because you love to.
Yeah. Because I love my customers.
Yeah. What was the intention for you behind doing that? Like, what were you doing with your time when you were buying back all of those hours? What was your plan? How did that segue into what you're doing now?
Yeah, I really wanted to focus on the marketing and I wanted to focus on helping other people scale their business and find their voice. And also the back end of the business is so important. I was working so much in the business and not a lot on it. And so marketing, increasing profit margins, all the strategies and systems, I really wanted to improve those.
Okay. And you know a lot of that stuff because of your education, or was that a large learning curve for you as well?
That was a large learning curve for me.
And so where did you go to learn all of that stuff?
From you.
That was not a plug. Like, I didn't actually mean this.
No, I learned a lot from you, and like, especially with the past Voices of Impact, helped me so much.
Amazing. And that was a really recent
that was so recent. Just like I don't know why I was so scared to put my voice out there, but I did it. And since then it's been going amazing.
Yeah. If you could put your finger on it, what do you think was really holding you back before?
I think the fear of perfection. And I remember one thing you said to me, you said, do you know anybody that's perfect? And no.
Yeah. So your content, let's pivot and talk about that for a second, because from when I met you, I mean, your content's always been good. You've always had a great following, but it's way better now and it's growing and you're attracting more of the aligned clients and just the impact that you're wanting to make, right? And I love your content. Like, I watch it, I'm like, dang, how'd she do that? That's really cool.
Thank you.
Let's talk about it a little bit. Like, what changed for you? You probably have an editing team, you know, the whole process of what you had to let go of in order to step into what you're creating now. Yeah,
I think a really big part of that was actually delegating so much so that I had the mental capacity to be creative. Now I actually have space to have creativity and be in flow and, you know, have all of these good ideas. Before I didn't have that, I was so burnt out and tired that I was like, I don't want to create right now. Like, I can't do anything helpful. And so just creating that space and knowing that you really can't create from a space of exhaustion.
How did you figure out what you want to create about? A lot of people struggle with that. They're like, I don't know what I want to talk about. I don't know what I want to say.
For me, I just always knew that I wanted to help people go for it and start businesses and like just do what they're passionate about. Because I wish I had somebody to like push me to do what I was passionate about for a while. Yeah.
Why is that so important to you?
Because I see a lot of people who are stuck and they don't like what they're doing. And I just wish like somebody would have pushed me to do that. Yeah.
So now you have 2 locations of Unity. And you are also now stepping into a business coach role. You help a lot of other desired coffee shop owners and people in the hospitality industry. Anything else that you help with? Products?
No. It's
Okay. As well as speaking. I know that you're getting into the speaking space. You're wanting to do more of that. What has that journey been like for you? You know, why is that important for you to step into this business coach role?
Just to help as many people as I possibly can. And that's so fulfilling for me.
So how are you finding clients? Like, how's that going for you?
It's going great. Instagram has been a great networking tool. TikTok as well actually has been really great for me.
Okay. And the systems behind the scene for you, because we've got 2 locations running. You're all the time recording content. Now you're a business coach, so we've got clients running there. You're speaking, like, you're doing all the things. You're in a relationship, so like we've got this thriving life. How are you balancing all of it?
is not really balanced. I mean, I feel like there's seasons of balance.
Yeah.
And there's definitely, I do have systems and strategies to it and, CRMs and all the technical tools, but it's also just giving yourself grace. You're not going to be balanced in all areas at all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Walk me through a day in the life of Ellie. Like, you've got your hands in a lot of different cookie jars, right? So, and I know no day is the same. Fitness is important for you as well. So, like, what is a typical day like for you? For the person who's thinking, like, I want to be in Ellie's shoes one day, where do they need to pivot? What do they need to start prioritizing in their daily routine to start seeing some of the success that you've seen?
Prioritizing your health is huge. Making sure that your mental space is in the right space. I can't lead a team if my mental space isn't right.
What do you do to take care of your mental health? Let's talk about some of those things.
I wake up every day and my phone is on Do Not Disturb, and that's like my peace.
Okay.
And I don't check my phone for the first 2 hours. I journal and I read in the morning, and then I go straight to the gym.
What do you journal about? A lot of people struggle with that process. They think like there's supposed to be some way to journal. They're like, how do I journal?
Right. And there's really not a right way. I feel like a lot of days it's different, but I always start with what I'm grateful for.
Okay.
So I always do 3 things that I'm grateful for, and then I do my intention for the day, and then anything else that's in my brain, I just like to get out on a page.
A dump.
Yeah. Like get it out of my brain.
Do you notice that if you don't have time to journal, or if you wake up late or in a panic or whatever happens, or you're out of your element and you don't have time for that morning kind of routine, do you notice that it impacts your day?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And also if I don't work out first thing in the morning, I notice a big difference.
So you work out every day, 7 days a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if it's just a walk.
Yeah, just something to get your body moving.
Yeah.
Okay. I notice in this space of entrepreneurship, and there's so many different levels to it, regardless of if someone's starting out brand new and seeing some success, or they're like, people that you and I idolize and look up to, there's so many elements that are common, and fitness is almost always one of them.
Absolutely.
I personally believe, and someone's going to hate on me for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyways. I personally believe that like you don't see a shit ton of super overweight business owners that are very successful, or they are, but they're not wildly happy, or it's not the success that you think that you see.
Absolutely.
I think that it goes hand in hand.
Me too.
I think when you're healthy and you respect your body and and I've got the fitness coach over here like nodding at me. When you respect your body and your health and what you're putting into it, it drastically affects the results that come out on the other side in your mental health. Like that would be probably the first place I would tell people to start when they say, how do I start focusing on my growth journey and start focusing on my mindset journey? It's like, what are you putting in your body and are you moving your body?
Yeah.
At least moving it.
Yeah.
To start.
Even if you don't know what kind of business you want to start, or you don't know what you want to improve, if you start improving yourself first, it will find you.
Yeah. Have there been a lot of different things in your journey that you tried and it was like, well, that didn't work? Or have there been any major failures or anything like that you're like, hey, I want to talk about this because somebody needs to know that it's not all just sunshine and rainbows?
Oh, absolutely. I've started multiple businesses and they have failed before. So, I was insurance sales rep for a while. I didn't love that, but I learned a lot about sales, and that was really important for my journey. I also started an online clothing store, did that for a little bit. It got shut down, so I had to start from zero.
What do you mean it got shut down? You're not just going to skip over that one. We're going to talk about that.
It got shut down because I put a Taylor Swift lyric on a t-shirt, and the whole store got shut down.
How?
And that was my full-time
What, did you just get something in the mail that said you're done?
Yeah.
You're done?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, because they'll come after you.
Okay. You can't do that without all of the proper. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it was just one word. It was just evergreen, and I put that on a t-shirt, and they came after me.
You can't put the word. Does she own the word evergreen?
Yep, it's trademarked.
Okay.
So now we know.
Now she knows.
Don't do that.
Did that impact your relationship with Taylor Swift? Are you still a Taylor Swift fan?
Right. I still love her. But yeah, it was like that was my full-time income, so that was like the biggest heartbreak lesson for me,
Yeah.
But then I had to start over from zero, and I figured it out again.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you find that you keep picking yourself back up? Because this is something I talk about all the time, right? The mindset of a savage is they can get knocked down, but they will always get back up. And I just feel like anyone who wants to start a business who thinks that it is like this is absolutely kidding themselves, right? It is like you take one step forward and it's 5 steps back. That's been my journey and everyone that I know in this industry. And so what do you do? How do you help yourself to get back up and keep on going? Or the days when there's absolutely no motivation and you're like, I don't even want to get out of bed today. Like yesterday sucked.
Yeah.
What do you do to help yourself get through that?
I think I just take the next step in front of me instead of trying to figure it all out at once.
Okay.
And I know that it's just a season and that it's part of the journey.
Yeah. We talk a lot about too. Have you ever done the 7 levels of why exercise or read any Simon Sinek's book?
I have. Yeah.
So we talk a lot about finding like a deep core why when we get into business, because I think a lot of times it's freedom or it's money.
Yep.
And that's kind of like the top surface level to it. Have you done these exercises? Have you thought really deeply about why, like to the core, why you want to be a business owner and why this was so important for you, aside from just helping people?
I just know that I want to help people and help other people like find what they want to do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about childhood for
Yeah.
you. I want to like pivot a little bit. That was
Yeah.
business, and let's talk a little bit about mindset and childhood. What was childhood like for you?
It was good. I was actually homeschooled for most of my life.
Amazing.
Most people don't know that.
I did not know that. And I love knowing that.
Most people don't know that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about homeschooling Coast.
Yeah, it was honestly amazing. And I think that's a big part of why I'm an entrepreneur is my mom is a badass. And she raised all of us. She homeschooled 4 of us and worked full time on her business.
Where are you in the 4?
I'm the oldest daughter, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, she's a huge inspiration. Like I saw how hard she worked, and she raised 4 kids, homeschooled them all, and ran a business at the same time. So
Super inspiring.
So badass.
What did she do for her business?
She's a yoga instructor now.
Okay.
But she was working for the city. She had a typing company when I was growing up.
Yeah. Okay. And so you grew up with 3 other siblings.
Yeah.
And you were the eldest sister. Were there any sports involved or anything like that?
I was always athletic, or I never played any sports, but I've always liked activities, but never athletic.
Okay. So what are some of the hobbies when you were growing up?
I like tennis. I've always been a runner.
Okay.
Gymnastics. Coffee. Yeah, just drinking coffee all the time.
Okay, cool. And then 22 started your first business. What's next for you?
I would really like to keep scaling Unity.
What does that look like when you say scaling? What does that look like?
Open more locations.
Okay. In Seattle or?
Maybe in Austin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe expand to other states.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you started that process yet?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
Looked at some locations.
Are we able to talk about this at all?
A little bit. I mean,
Okay.
it's very new, so I've just looked at some locations and started looking at the permit.
So I'm super curious because obviously I know a lot about the business space, but not so much about the coffee space.
Yeah.
There are 101 coffee shops in Austin, probably 201.
Yeah.
There are so many coffee shops here. We're like the coffee capital of the States, I've heard. They're on every corner, and as you know, when you come down and experience them, like they're a vibe.
Yeah.
It's a freaking vibe. There's
It
like
is.
picnic tables outside, live music.
Yeah.
Like they're just really cool. Some are super eclectic. I remember coming from Canada. There's nothing like that in Canada, especially where I was from, like a super small town. You want to go for a coffee shop or go to have a coffee, it's like Tim Hortons or Starbucks, which you guys may not even know what Tim Hortons is, but
I know.
okay. That's pretty much all you have. And it's funny because in Canada, they are filled with old people. It's like 70 and 80-year-old old people that go to have a coffee or a tea and a biscuit.
Okay.
It's a totally different vibe in the States.
Yeah.
Completely different vibe in the States. People don't go get coffee as a cool thing to do.
Right.
But when I moved to Austin, I was single. It was like, this is the place to go to meet people. Rather than going to a bar and drinking your face off, the energy and the atmosphere here was very much like, go to a coffee shop with your laptop and someone's going to come up and buy you a cup of coffee. And that's how you started conversations.
I love that.
And people would just go to coffee shops as friends or as groups or gatherings and baby showers, and all kinds of things were always happening there. So I'm curious, coming into what I'm going to call a crowded market, which is a really cool thing for us to talk about from a marketing perspective, coming into a crowded market, but still being able to carve your own niche or, your own turn or twist on the coffee space. What is that going to be like for you? Like, how are you going to approach it differently here in Austin, knowing that versus what you did in Seattle?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a lot of concepts in Seattle that they're not doing here quite yet. So like the drive-thru stands, there's nowhere like that here. And then also I just think everybody's different and they want different things. And so bringing my concepts here would be a lot different.
Okay. So it won't be so much like the vibe to sit down and hang out. It's going to you're going to focus more on speed.
Yes.
You're going to focus more
Yes.
on being able to come and drive through and get quality coffee.
Yeah.
What is the American brand with the like bunny ears? And it's like, is it bunny ears or something? It's a coffee stand. It's only in the States. And when you drive through, the person is standing there with the iPad.
Is it Dutch Bros?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it bunny ears?
There's no bunny ears,
What
but
is
I
it?
knew what you were getting at. Yeah.
Okay.
But I still knew what you were talking about when you said iPad.
All right. So different but same. How are you planning on differentiating yourself from that?
We are really intentional about how we treat our customers.
Okay.
Customer service is everything to us. If you go on Google, all of our reviews are about my amazing employees. And all of them mention their name because we treat our customers like they're our friends.
Yeah.
And we don't just say, like, how's your day? We're like, how's your son's basketball game?
Right.
You know, like, we're really intentional about our conversations.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about the business coaching and the speaking.
Yeah.
What do you like to talk about? When you're going on panels, have you done any big keynotes yet?
I've done one keynote speaker.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How did it go?
It went really good. I was so scared, but it went good.
But you did it
But
anyway.
I did it. And it's funny because the topic was about fear and going for it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just went for it and I was so scared, but yeah, it was fun.
How many people was it in front of?
100.
Okay. And so feel the fear and do it anyways.
Yes.
Really big message that we both preach.
Yeah.
Probably knees shaking, lips quivering,
Yeah.
like scared you're going to forget the speech.
Oh my gosh, I don't even remember what I said.
blacked out?
Blacked out the whole time.
Did you get content of it?
I did, yes.
Okay.
So I can watch it back. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. And it went well? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So is that something that you want to continue to talk about, or are we diversifying into other avenues? Like,
No, I would love to continue speaking.
okay, and on fear?
Yeah, on fear, also on strategies, seller financing. I really want to help people do that as well.
Okay. Do you have any kind of strategies in place to grow the speaking career? Because as you know, one of the things I talk about is we can have this really great idea and like, I'd like to be a speaker.
Right, yeah.
And just hope that someone lands in your DM with a $10,000 speaking deal, or
Totally.
we can actively seek those opportunities. Like, I'm curious because you've gone through so many different journeys where your attention has been on something.
Yeah.
And then you free up your time to create space for something new.
Yeah.
And so, like, is that new thing for you right now speaking, or what is that kind of next thing that you're really focusing your attention on?
It's speaking, and it's also just building my coaching business. And for me right now, that's going to a lot of networking events.
Okay.
And putting myself in those rooms and meeting new people.
Yeah.
In person, I feel like is so big.
Yeah. What are some tips and tricks that you have with networking events? Because I don't know about you, but I'm a huge introvert.
Yeah. No, I am too.
Okay.
I get scared every single time I have to go to a networking event.
hate
I
it.
normally go by myself, and it's scary. Yeah.
Yeah. You go by yourself.
Sometimes, yeah.
Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a huge introvert. Like,
Yeah.
obviously running a show, being a speaker, all these things, people are like, there's no way that
Right.
you're an introvert.
Yeah.
And I can be on when I need to be on, but like the second I get to be off, I want to close that door. I've had social anxiety my entire life. And so sometimes being in a social setting literally just triggers a panic attack.
Yeah.
And I have to go take a second and like collect myself. And I think there's also the comparison game.
Yeah.
Sometimes you walk into that room. I don't know if you feel this, but sometimes I'll walk into a networking event and like I'll prejudge people based on how they look. I'm like, oh, they look important or they look special or whatever it is. When I'm getting on stage to speak at an event, I'll see like just people in the front row that look really impressive. And I'm like, who am I to be here speaking in front of these people? And then meanwhile, they're the ones that are like shaking their head the whole time at me and clapping and like
Right.
amening everything I'm saying, and it's landing the most with them.
Right.
So what is your strategy when you go to a networking event, as you said, an introvert? Like, how do you maximize that opportunity?
I would, before you go, set an intention for the event.
Okay.
What
does that look like for you?
So are you looking to meet somebody? Are you just looking to get over this fear? Are you looking to build your network? For me, I always try to get 3 new contacts. Like,
Okay.
that's my goal. And even if those are just new friends.
Okay.
Like, I just want to meet 3 new people.
Okay. Yeah. And I know that a lot of people at some point were doing the whole like QR codes and scanning on the phone, and then
Oh,
we
yeah.
were getting away from business cards, and people were like, if you have business cards and you're giving out business cards,
Yeah.
you know, you're living in the past.
Yeah.
I like business cards.
Okay.
I like giving business cards.
Yeah.
I like receiving business cards.
Okay, yeah.
Where does your thought or
I
stance on
love
all that?
receiving business cards, but I don't have them to give out. So I normally just, I have a little QR code on my phone.
Okay.
And it's like Bobble, I think, is the app.
Okay.
And you just scan that.
And then do you find that that's successful for you? Like, are people reaching out?
Yeah,
and
so
making-
normally when somebody follows me, I'll follow them back on Instagram and I'll shoot them a quick DM and
Okay.
say, hey, it was so nice to meet you. Like, I loved learning about your business.
Right.
That way it puts like an instant,
Yeah.
face to contact.
Yeah. How impactful has social media been for your brand?
Amazing.
Talk a little bit more about that.
Because I am kind of in a niche market primarily my content is for coffee shop owners. And so to use social media, it really helps get it out like all over the world. Like, I'm able to talk to coffee owners all over the world, not just in Seattle.
Yeah. I want to talk about this for a second because you have a physical location.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people think, well, what's the point of social media if it's past the geographical radius? There's not much importance to that for me because, well, why do I care if someone from Austin follows me when I need them to buy my coffee in Seattle?
Oh, yeah.
So obviously that's absolutely not a thing, and there's a big importance to growing an iconic brand for so many other reasons, especially you, like you've talked a lot about other things that you're stepping into. What do you have to say to the person who believes that, who doesn't really understand the power of social media or why they need to grow like an iconic brand? Why is it so important for your
personal brand is so important?
Why?
Because people buy from people.
Okay.
And the second that I started showing up on my social media and not just posting a photo of my drink, that's when it started to grow. And like that second was the second that my videos went viral, was when I put my face out there and when I put my employees' face out there.
Yeah.
Because people buy from people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who taught you that?
You.
I want to talk about you were mentioning how employees are, like, them growing really strong relationships with your customers were super important for you. Did you train them on that? Did you teach them how to do that?
Yeah. I did. Yeah. And just that is what they know, the values, they know the mission, and that can all be written down, but it doesn't really matter if they don't see it happening.
Yeah.
And so I train them a couple days, and then my manager trains them for a few days, and it really all comes from the top.
Okay. Where do you come up with all of your content ideas?
I do a lot of time researching and scrolling, honestly, to do that research.
And then are you just like saving ideas? Do you have a day that you record your content?
I do.
What does that look like for you?
I do. I batch all of our content, and I have somebody that helps me with that, and then a video editor as well.
Okay. Where did you find your video editor?
On Indeed.
Okay.
I use Indeed for a lot of my hiring.
And are they overseas somewhere, or are they?
No, she's here.
Okay.
So she helps shoot my content, and then she'll edit it and send it back.
Oh, she shoots and edits. Amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, good. So I'm hearing a lot of, for the person who's listening who thinks that they should be doing this all themselves.
Yeah.
In order to scale, you have outsourced.
Absolutely.
You've got a phenomenal staff that you're training in order to step into location number 2. You've got someone who's shooting your content, who's editing your content for you. What else do you have going on? What else other support do you have so that you can step into the CEO role?
My manager does a lot of she does all the day-to-day operations, and that's why I'm able to be here for a week, because she's running the whole show back home. And then I also have a VA, and she helps with a lot of like the back end, updating like our POS systems and stuff like that, just the busy work.
Okay.
And she's overseas.
Amazing. 5 years from now.
Yeah.
What is the plan? Where are we headed?
I'd love to be full-time in the coaching space and have Unity at least 5 locations.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are those locations going to be, so we've got 2 in Seattle, 1 in Austin. Where else are we thinking? Or we
wherever is the right spot, wherever is aligned.
Yeah,
is
wherever
where I'm
God
at.
calls you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What is stopping you from going full-time into coaching right now?
Just building it up, I think, right now.
And what do you think is going to help you build it up?
Continuing to post online and continuing to just put myself out there.
Okay. And aside from social media, what else are you doing to do that? What else are you doing aside from Instagram posting great content? How else are you maximizing your impact?
Networking is a huge part. And that's where I've met a lot of the people that I've worked with in the past. I think if they can talk to you in person and connect with you in person, it makes such a big difference.
Yeah. Is there anything that if you were to think back to, like, I don't know, 10-year-old, 15-year-old Ellie, you know, when you were kind of starting in this journey and maybe you thought you wanted to get into business at that point, maybe you didn't. Is there something that you would like to say back to her, knowing everything that you know now?
You don't have to have it all figured out.
Okay.
You don't really need anything figured out. Just
one step at a time.
Just the step in front of you.
Yeah. Some of your mottos. Let's talk about some of the things that are really important to you. And you said that, like, feel the fear and do it anyway kind of mentality was really important to you. Why do you think that's so important?
I think fear is such a good indicator that you're putting yourself in a new position and that you're doing something scary. And to feel the fear and just like notice it and kind of almost talk to that fear and be like, I notice you, but like I'm going to do this anyways.
Yeah.
And just put your head down and do it. It's such a good indicator that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Is this uncomfortable for you, podcasting?
A little bit, yeah.
You're getting there? Good. So we're doing it today?
Yeah,
Good.
We're doing it right now.
I love that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I talk a lot about, and I know you've definitely heard me in some call that you've been on with me or in my ecosystem, I talk a lot about masculine and feminine energy, a lot. And I would just love for you to share a little bit about your journey with that, your experience of that, how much you know about it, how much you don't know about it, because I talk about this all the time, and I preach about this, and I think so many female CEOs and entrepreneurs traditionally are in our masculine, and I'm feeling and I'm seeing this huge movement of them really stepping into finding, embracing, and surrendering to their feminine.
Yes.
And that maybe isn't your case. Maybe
Yes.
it's the other way around. I know some that's the other way around. Maybe you have no idea what I'm even talking about. But I would just love for you to explain kind of what that's been like for you to maybe that other woman who looks at us and thinks, oh, they look so feminine.
Yeah.
But I came from a very dominant masculine energy, and sometimes we need that in business to be successful and to get things done. But I have honestly found so much more peace and so much more success in stepping into my feminine, as you know, because I talk about it a lot, and like becoming a mom and finding the love of my life.
Yeah.
So like let's talk a little bit about what that's like for you, or what that process is like.
Yeah, and this is crazy because I just started this journey probably like within the last 6 months.
Okay,
I've
so
always
super fresh.
hustled in my masculine, and you can ask my fiance. Like I've always been like masculine energy, hustle like 12 hours a day, like always wanted to be the boss and like in charge. In the last like 6 months, I've just realized that doesn't feel as good as I want it to, and like stepping back, and that's how I'm able to be creative, is when I'm in my flow and when I feel feminine. And leading from that place has been so much more powerful.
Aside from creativity, how else does that show up for you? How does that show up in your relationship?
I'm rested. I feel like I can love better. I feel like I can show up better. I'm kinder. Softer. Yeah.
What else have you noticed? Like
Yeah.
just in maybe other relationships, maybe like friendships or family, or relationships with your staff and employees. Like I know I'm a radically 360 different person.
Oh, yeah.
From 5 years ago.
Totally.
Right. And
Yeah.
this hustle, burnout, and even when I started business coaching, I probably before you came into kind of my world, but I was like, well, do more and be more. And
my God.
like I was so in my masculine, and people were seeing a lot of results. I was seeing a lot of results through a multiple 7-figure business.
Right.
But I was exhausted.
But it's sustainable.
I was exhausted. I was putting myself into the hospital with panic attacks. Like I was super stressed out. I had no idea how you could get past the 40-hour work week, and I was working 80 hours, and I was like, how do people scale past this? I'm one person. I can't hold all of this. And so, yeah, just like, let's talk a little bit more about it.
That's exactly. I learned that it wasn't sustainable for me to be operating like that in my masculine all the time. And I also found that in my friendships, like that's not helpful to be a woman who's operating in their masculine all the time. Like
Exhausting.
It's exhausting to be like that. And I didn't have a lot of empathy. And so within like the past year, I've made amazing women friendships and just like grown that circle.
Yeah. How have you done that? We have the same nail color.
I know. I know.
Super fall over here.
Yes.
How have you done that? Like other than awareness, which you probably just heard people talking about it, and so you were curious and started. What was that like for you? Like what have you done to step into your feminine?
Honestly, resting a lot more.
Okay.
And not
choosing rest,
scheduling things that I actually like to do
play
that have nothing to do with business or making money.
Yeah.
So I started doing yoga and Pilates and all of these new things, and that's really helped me step into it.
What was the conversation like in your head when you're like, I should be working right now, or and I'm going to choose to go to yoga or Pilates or to rest or to play or to whatever else that you decide to do, because you knew that that was important in calling in your feminine, but also then there's this like hyper masculine part of your brain that's like, but you should be working.
Oh yeah,
you should be working. You know, you're not going to make as much money. You're not going to be as successful if you're doing all of these things.
Yeah.
How did you?
It was a slow transition because it was so long that the past like 25, 24 years, I was operating like that. And so to transition like from one way and to unlearn all of those habits, it was slow. And it was just allowing myself to rest or take one class per week, and just like build up, or like take a full day off, turn your phone on, do not disturb. Don't check social media for a day. Like it's okay. Your business is running. It's going to be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Giving yourself grace.
Yeah.
A lot of grace.
Yes. It's not like an overnight thing.
Yeah. Who inspires you?
A lot. You inspire me. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you.
My mom inspires me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other big people that you kind of look up to or idolize over or anything like that that's kind of helped drive you along the way?
I think a lot of the women in my circle, they really, really inspire me.
Yeah.
And they push
People
me to
close
be,
to you.
yes.
Okay.
They push because they know me and I know them.
Yeah.
And to have people like that close to you is amazing.
So how important has your inner circle been in your growth journey?
It has been everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had any hard relationships that you've had to cut, or friendships that you
Yeah.
were like, this isn't serving the next version of who I'm becoming?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I started my business, I lost pretty much all of my friends. And I had I had to restart all over, and I was so lonely. But it was like the biggest learning lesson of the people that really love you and want to see you do well.
Yeah.
And now I have an amazing support system.
Yeah. Was that hard for you?
It was so hard. That was probably the hardest part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about that for a second longer because I think it deserves some justice, because I get reached out to all the time and just saying, like, how do I start my growth journey? And one of the first things I say is take a look at who you're surrounding yourself with.
Yeah.
So part of that, which I'm curious if this has been true for you, is my social media feed. If you notice, the people that I follow, it's pretty selective, and I actually need to go through and clean it out again. And I right now it's like a whole bunch of mom accounts and like breastfeeding and baby tips and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is starting to affect my algorithm. Like maybe I need to change that up a little bit. So there's been that. The information that I'm allowing into my brain from that perspective, like what I allow myself to take in.
Yeah.
Small example, my husband put on a like aggressive movie the other night, and I was like, I don't want to take that in right now. That's not what I want to bring into my brain. But also it was really hard for me because I was actually scared of success, and I've talked about this before. And I thought that I was too good for the people that I was around or my family by wanting to no longer do the things that they were doing. And so I was kind of like outcasting myself, and it was almost as if they were judging me in the process, and they were kind of like whispering behind the scenes about the things that I was doing or whatever it was. And I heard and saw everything. You know, she doesn't want to come out anymore. She thinks she's too good, this, that, and the other. But I knew where I was headed, and I knew that just wasn't the energy and the atmosphere and the people that I wanted to be surrounded by anymore. Yeah. And I literally had to sit down and like think of and visualize the friendships that I wanted and the women that I wanted and how they were living their lives and what they were building and doing and how inspiring that was to me. And then I started reticular activator system is you start noticing those women. And so I would start seeing them more, and then they would start coming up on social more, and then I would start going to networking events, and all of a sudden I was like finding these beautiful blossoming relationships that I was subconsciously elevating myself to so that I could call those in. And so I'm just curious, like, you know, letting go of some of those. And it's not that one's right or wrong, their journey's wrong or yours is right. It's not that at all. It's simply where you're headed, those habits and that lifestyle doesn't like suit that or fuel that anymore. What was that like for you? Like, was there a breakup, or was it just, hey, like we're going separate directions here?
It was honestly, there was no even work. It was just different journeys. And I think they recognized that and I recognized that. And no, like you said, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. They're not bad people. I'm not better than you. It's just different journeys.
Yeah. Well, somebody needed to hear that.
Yeah.
We have a couple minutes left here. Is there anything else that you feel like to the inspiring entrepreneur or already been in the weeds for a while who's listening to this right now, who's inspired by your story, and you really want to leave them with something? What would that be?
I think that if you feel scared or, you know, unsure about something and you feel that every single day, like that is the thing that you need to do. And if you constantly feel that on your heart, that's the one thing that you need to do.
That's the edge.
That is it.
Yeah. I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
That is the edge. That is the calling that we need to step into.
Mm.
I know this seems like a little bit of a plug, and so I'm going to frame it as it's truly not for anyone who wants to hear that, because you're a business coach and I'm a business coach. But I do want to mention how important has mentorship been in your life? I know you've taken some of my things. You've taken lots of other things. You've got people in your life that inspire you. How important has that been in your evolution and in your growth? Maybe you want to compare it to business school and like business school mentorship, or maybe it's just like, I couldn't have done this without, you know, mentorship, because that's why you and I do what we do. Is maybe I'm not a coach for everyone. Of course I'm not. And you're not a coach for everyone.
Right.
But I know that my story is going to help somebody. And if I can share my wisdom with somebody and I can package that up into a pretty little program and help you through something that you're struggling with right now in this season of your life, then I feel fulfilled when I put my head down on the pillow at night. And so obviously we preach mentorship, and that's why we're in the roles that we're in. So I'm just curious, what was, you know, the role of mentorship in your journey? How important was it?
I mean, it's everything. It's finding somebody that is where you want to be, whether that's relationship, whether that's business, whether that's their mindset. It gets you 10 times further because they've already done it, and you can skip all of the little, things that they went through because they'll help you get there. And then it also helps you see outside yourself. Like, we can't see our biggest, things, and they can recognize those.
Yeah, I love the expression that when we're inside the jar, you can't read the label.
You can't see it. Yeah.
So it's really good to have somebody else kind of subjectively kind of come in and give you their perspective and see the blind spots that you're not seeing, right? I personally think that that's more important than education, and someone's going to hate on me for saying that, but I personally think that if I could go back and not spend the astronomical amount of money that I did on a business degree, because really, like, I don't know how much of that I've actually used. I think it was just fire, aim, ready. I just had a passion and I followed it one foot in front of the other, and I fell down a bunch of times, but I got up more. And I think that that's like such the journey of entrepreneurship, is just knowing I have this relentless commitment and pursuit to figuring it out. And I think entrepreneurs either have it or they don't, and that's why some are successful and some are not successful, and they sit and complain and whine all the time. And then others are thriving like yourself and rising and growing. So last piece of advice that you want to leave somebody with, and also how can they get a hold of you if someone wants to reach out and follow along with your journey?
My favorite quote is, create a life you love. So you're the story, or you're the author of your own story, so create it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is that a quote that's going to be on the Unity Cups?
Probably.
It should be.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And how can everyone get a hold of you if they're looking to stay in contact or want to reach out?
Yeah, you can connect with me on Instagram. It's Ellie.Hugdahl, and I post a lot of content on there. You can book a call with me, and I'd love to chat.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you told me how to pronounce your last name, because I've been wondering that for like 4 years.
It's a hard one.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing a small snippet into your world and everything that you've done. And so anyone who's listening to this who wants a little bit more of Ellie's world, please tune in, follow her on social media. And I'm sure this will not be the last that we're seeing of us doing things together. I'm sure there's probably something, especially if you're opening up a coffee shop in Austin. Yeah, I'll bring Coast and we'll just have our little snacks.
Amazing.
At the coffee shop. Amazing. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Savages, that is all that we have for you for today. I hope that you enjoyed this episode and maybe it inspired you to go get a cup of coffee. I can't drink coffee right now, so I'm on the decaf train and I am so excited for when I can get back. But stay tuned. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. And remember, a savage will get knocked down, but they will always get back up. Keep on fighting. Peace, guys.